Today's ActionFeatures.net Toy Talk review is on the Batman Classic TV series Mattel's 6-inch Frank Gorshin Riddler figure. Alright, so, I don't know which sequence we're going to put these videos up in, but we've mentioned it in every single one of them. I love this packaging. I think it's fantastic. I think Mattel knocked it out of the park on the packaging. It's really one of the things that drew me into buying this line that I hadn't really been planning on buying before. But it just knocks you out when you see it in the store. It's just fantastic packaging. We've got this great Batman Classic TV series logo over here, bat signal shining in the sky, Batman and Robin heading up the side of the building in this great art with this little die-cut section for Batman's head and the cape finishing off the packaging down here. And then we've got a different saying from Robin on each packaging. On this one he's saying, "Holy smokes, skywriting!" Down here we've got the Riddler logo with a big burst here, which is kind of cut into the bubble, like it's shaped around it. We've got Bam, Pow, and Wham embossed in the packaging, which is awesome. We've got a little shot of the Riddler down here that is apparently his collector card, which I'm assuming is behind him in the package, but I'll find out when I open him. On the back of the package, which we'll zoom out just a smidge for you and raise it up. Come on now. There we go. We've got the Batman Classic TV series logo, the Riddler name, and then the back of the package says, "The Riddler, you fiend, the confounding clever criminal known as the Riddler, is Batman and Robin's trickiest villain. Sending enigmatic clues to the dynamic duo, the Riddler subsequently leads them into an inevitable trap. But never fear, the Batman always outwits the mysterious madman." Got this great 60s-esque art of the Riddler on the back with the Batman logo behind him. Same bat time, same bat channel, featuring, and the other figures in the line. Back to the front, give you one last look at Encarded before we take a look at the loose version. Alright, as we can see, we've got our Frank Gorshin Riddler standing here atop his Kapow base. I'm going to show you that Kapow base here first. This base is pretty cool. I didn't realize this was even in the package. It's a black stand. It has a label on it that says Kapow with the one black peg there. And it actually can fit his collector card in there, which this collector card is this thick board here. Now in the Riddler's, it's actually sitting, horizontally, and then the other ones, it's like a vertical look to it. But his is horizontal, so it doesn't actually fit in the base like that, but it's not really intended to. Each one comes with, on the other side, is this image that is like from the Batcave, that I'm assuming is that's what you're supposed to put behind them. I'm not going to try and force this in here right now because I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, I guess you're supposed to put that behind. I kind of wish it was more like this, like you'd have an image that you could just stick behind of the character instead of this image of the Batcave. But it looks like they're supposed to interconnect. Hang on, let me grab these real quick here. The other ones also have this stuff on the back. They don't interconnect between these three, though. I'm assuming that maybe Catwoman and the Joker, Surf's Up Batman will finish off this sort of Batcave scene we've got here. So there's those. We'll put him back here. The green on this is a little funky, and I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but the green tone between the mid-thigh, like where the upper thigh is, and into the knee, is two different shades of green, and that's a little disappointing. We'll talk about that more when we get in the review, but I was hoping maybe this camera would pick it up a little better than we will when we get him over to the couch. We'll talk about articulation and head sculpt and all that stuff when we get over there. Let me get this back on this base here. So there he is from the front. We'll take him all the way around. Give you a back view of the Riddler. And then back up to the front. I don't know how well this is going to pick up. I'm trying to give you as close a view as I can before we get him back. Get on there. So there he is. Now we're going to take him over to the couch and do the review. Hey everybody, welcome to another ActionFeatures.net Toy Talk review. We're looking at, as you can tell by the opening sequence, the Mattel Classic TV series Batman 6-inch action figures. We're going to do one video for each figure that I've picked up. As you can see, the opening sequence, this one's Riddler. So I want to talk about the packaging first before we get into the figure. This is kind of one of the reasons I ended up buying this line. I was on the fence. I was on the fence. I kept talking, do I want to get the 60s Batman figures? Do I not want to get the 60s Batman figures?
You asked me and I said, I'm getting them.
Yeah, you thought you were going to maybe get them, but you went back and forth too.
Yeah, I ended up buying I spent all my money on Batman animated series and stuff, so maybe for Christmas.
Yeah, you kept going back and forth whether you wanted to get them or not.
I'm not getting the Surf's Up Batman.
No, you're not getting Surf's Up Batman. Well, I was on the fence, but one of my main things that I didn't want to buy the line was that I was thinking, man, do I really want to get into a line? Then I'm going to have to buy a bunch of figures. They're going to be $20 a piece. How long is it going to last?
It's a short.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now we know it's a short line. We didn't know that before, though.
Right.
Mattel has now confirmed that pretty much everything you've seen is it for the Mattel line, or the 60s line, because they're moving away from 6-inch scale, and they're moving to 3 3/4 scale next year, and I guess they're not going to start over with Adam West Batman line, or they'll be worked into other things. So it's kind of...
Wait, what did you mean by 3 3/6?
3 3/4.
Yeah, 3 3/4.
The lines next year will be 3 3/4.
So like smaller ones?
Marvel Universe size. Yeah, they're going to start doing...
That might be something I might get.
Well, I don't know if they're going to do Batman classic TV series in that. They're doing the Michael Keaton in that. Remember we talked about it?
I'm getting it.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get
I'm definitely getting that.
one.
I'm definitely going to get that. But the whole thing, what I'm saying here is, though, is that meant that there was only going to be these 6 carded figures, the 2-pack, the Batmobile, and if you decided to get it, Bat2C Batman. So I started thinking, oh, well, maybe I will pick up those 6 figures since it's not going to be a huge line.
Right.
And then when I saw these sitting at Toys R Us, this packaging, that was it. It's like, this packaging is amazing. I love this packaging. I'm going to cut this off and keep the card back.
Right.
I'm not going to do a package set, but I am going to keep the card back because it is so nice.
Right.
The colors... Go ahead.
Kind of like you did with the He-Man toys. You kept.
Yeah, I kept the... Well, I only kept their bio cards. I didn't keep their card backs.
Well, it had some art on it, like in the corner.
Yeah, but that was just a reprint of original art. I like this entire packaging.
Right.
I think it's really, really sharp. The colors grab you. It's got this great logo. It's got this die-cut thing where they're coming up. It's got a different saying from Robin on each one. It's got this great burst. There's molded things on the bubble of Bam, Pow, and Wham. It's just really cool packaging.
It's really
I really, really like it.
You don't really find good packaging like that.
You don't. You don't see it that often. So we're going to work our way up on the figure itself. They each come with this black stand that has a label stuck to it that'll say, you know, a phrase from the show, like the big sound effect things where they fought. This one says Kapow for Riddler, and it comes with this thing that you stick behind it, which is part of it, like a scene from the Batcave, and this like a piece of the Batcomputer. And it seems like all the figures will have a chunk that each go together, but the 3 that I have right now don't match up with each other.
So you might actually have to get Surf's Up Batman.
Maybe, but I don't think I'm going to have them all standing next to each other with these card things in there. The other side has just an art card of the figure you've got. In this case, it's Riddler. It's really cool art. I wish it was going the other way, like the other 2 figures did, because it can't really sit in the thing that way.
Yeah.
But it is really cool art. And that moves us on to the figure. Now, it's 6-inch scale. It's got a lot of articulation. He's got ankle joints. He's got knee joints. He's got mid-thigh. He's got the weird Mattel hip joint thing, which goes out and which goes up and down. He's got waist, ab crunch, ball-jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, elbow, wrist, and then a ball-jointed neck. A lot of articulation going on. I kind of wish they wouldn't have done the ab crunch.
I kind of wish they wouldn't have done the thing where you could just make his legs go all the way.
Well, it's so you can get some good stances out of him. Some good Riddler, Frank Gorshin type stances. But the ab crunch, I don't think was super, super necessary. And it looks a little clunky. It kind of breaks up the sculpt on both him and the Batman. Penguin doesn't have it, but both Batman and Riddler have it. Well, yeah, and he's got that weird tuxedo. He's got a tuxedo thing going on, so he really couldn't work the ab crunch in there.
And he's kind of fat, so it'd be kind of
hard
weird. To do.
Yeah. But on the characters that are wearing sort of tights, it made sense for them to do it, I guess, but I wish they wouldn't have done it. That's the one drawback, I think, on the articulation. The figures are a bit on the skinny side for characters other than Penguin. It makes them look a little bit on the scrawny side of things. But I understand what they're doing here. They wanted a different team to do it than the Four Horsemen to differentiate these from the DC Universe Classics. They wanted them to look different. So that is a little bit of a drawback.
I think the Four Horsemen actually could have done a great job.
I think they could have too, and I kind of wish I would have seen what they could have done with it, but what can you do? The other small thing that I don't really enjoy is that there's a difference in material between the lower part of the leg and the upper part of the leg. And so the greens don't quite match, and the same with the grays and the Batman.
Wait, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
The thing is, if the Four Horsemen sculpted they're so good that people would probably ask for more and more, so it would be
a whole line.
A bigger toy.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, either way, they were going to switch away from 6-inch, so it wouldn't have mattered. So that the green doesn't match up between those 2 materials. The gray doesn't match up on Batman. It's not as noticeable on Batman as it is on Riddler, but it really does show on Riddler. He has question marks running up the side of his legs and question marks all around his wrists. Question mark in the front, question mark in the back. Overall, the articulation is good, except for that ab crunch being stuck right in the middle. And the paint apps are pretty nice. It is. I think the head sculpt on the Riddler is the weakest of the bunch.
He might be my least favorite out of the bunch. I'm not
He's my least favorite of the three so far, for sure. We're kind of working our way up to the best of the three. I can see some Frank Gorshin Riddler in there, but it's a little bit off. I don't... It looks more like Pat Sajak to me from Wheel of Fortune than Frank Gorshin. And the face they chose, like the expression, he's just kind of going... Where you could really do like a crazy, like Frank Gorshin face, and they didn't do that, which I was kind of disappointed by. But it's still a cool figure. And if the price is right, it's worth picking up for just a cool Riddler to have. These are
his head sculpts look more like the Wheel of Fortune, not The Price is Right.
Yeah, not The Price is Right.
That's just if The Price is Right, buy it.
Yeah, I get you. If The Price is Right, you should pick it up if you're a Batman 60s fan. This was my first exposure to Batman as a kid, was the 60s show.
Right.
I used to watch the reruns. I used to pretend to be Robin, and my friend was Batman, and we would get on the top of my dad's car and have T-shirts around our necks.
Was your dad
Oh, he didn't care. Yeah, we were just sitting on the front of the car, and we pretended it was the Batmobile. So Adam West was kind of the beginning of Batman love for me. Keaton Batman is #1 for me, but the West show was my first exposure to Batman. So this whole series and these figures do kind of have a special place for me.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad I made the decision to get them, because they are really fun figures.
Right.
I think that they're cool to play around with and pose and just have on the shelf. I'm glad that you're deciding that you might want to get some, and Keaton saw them, and he wants to get some maybe now.
I definitely want that Robin. I loved Robin in that show. And I thought he was...
Well, you get Batman in that Robin two-pack.
I want the Batman and the Robin more than anything. I really want that Robin, though.
Yeah, the Robin is really cool looking. When we get the two-pack comes in, we'll review it too, but I don't have it yet. I like, too, that it's got the main core bad guys in the line. Batman, or Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, Joker. You'll have the four mainies, and the ones from the movie, too, you know. So far, Riddler looks like to be maybe the worst of the bunch. He does have some drawbacks.
Right.
They're $20 in retail stores. I got 15% off at Toys R Us this weekend, which made me $17, and that made it a little easier to swallow than paying $20 for a 6-inch figure that has no accessories. Two-Face was never on the 60s show. So, overall, Riddler, pretty cool. Definitely not the best of the bunch. But again, with such a finite line, I'm not going to say, well, don't get Riddler and get the rest. If you're getting the rest, you might as well get Riddler.
Now, were those the only bad guys on the movie? Penguin?
It was Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler, Joker.
Okay, so it seems like that's what they are doing.
Basically, it's the movie. It's called the classic TV series, but you might as well just call it the Batman 60s movie line.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're still from the show.
Well, Surf's Up Batman is not from the movie, so there you go. And then there's the Batmobile coming, and that was in the movie too. But anyway, so that's it for Riddler. If you want to see pictures of him, you can hit the info section if you're watching this on YouTube. It'll take you to actionfeatures.net to the exact page that has the pictures of the Riddler on there. So now we're going to move on. We're going to do Penguin next. So stay tuned to the same bat time, same bat channel for our next 60s classic TV series review. Pretty cool. All right, see you guys next time.